Hey friends. So it is about 7:30 Thursday night, just checking in. I hope that you guys and gals are doing really well. I am on a little bit of a break from work and thought I would chat with you tonight. I have been in a funk the last couple of days, and it happens every year. I thought this year was going to be different, but I'm a little funky. It really not. I think, to be fair, funky is not. It's not that I'm down. I'm not depressed. I'm deeply reflective. Whatever that good word is. I'm. There's a lot on my mind, a lot on my soul. This is the night that I decided I couldn't do this anymore. And Friday, tomorrow, 6 years ago, I didn't show up for my job, and people got concerned and started making phone calls, and eventually I was found in my hotel room almost dead. And so I get to this date every year, and wow, there's a lot to consider. So much to be thankful for. Holy cow. So much to be thankful for. But I thought this year I would reflect with you and share with you 10 things that I've learned since that night. And there's a million. I'm sure as soon as I hit finish and this video's over, I'll go, oh man, I wanted to say this, and there will be so much more. But I want to respect your time and just thought I would share for a few minutes. So, 10 things that I've learned since the night I nearly died by suicide. And then I'd love to have a few minutes of Q&A if anybody has questions about suicide prevention or recovery from a suicide attempt or self-care or shame or anything that I talk about in this list. If you got a thought or a question, I would love to try to answer your question, at least respond to it. Hey Tracy, I'm so glad I'm still here too. I'm glad you're here too. Thanks, friend. So we'll start with number 10. Shame. Shame is the real killer. That's what I've decided. Mental health is a killer. Undiagnosed, untreated, poorly managed mental illness is a killer, sure. But for me, shame was worse than all of it. Shame was worse than the depression. Shame was worse than the anxiety, the PTSD, the addiction, the poor choices, the shame of all of that, and not knowing I had permission to talk about it, not having a safe place to just let it all hang out and say, I'm not okay. It was the shame. Number 9, I'm not alone. So many of you email me, message me, text me, call me, fill out the form on my website, send me a smoke signal. My God, if you can't get in touch with me, you're not trying. So many of you contact me and let me know that I'm not alone. Unfortunately, that usually means you're really struggling hardcore too. So many of you have faced the darkness. You've lived through your very worst day, but you're still here. And that is something to be celebrated every day. Every day that should be celebrated. When you live through your very worst moment, you choose to keep going. Boy, that's something to celebrate. Number 8, support systems are the real heroes. Yeah, that includes your doctor. That includes your therapist, your psychiatrist and psychologist, your parents, your spouse, your children, your best friend, whoever it is that is in your support system. Those are the heroes. Those are the ones that keep saving me. My wife keeps saving me. So if you don't have a good support system, why? And what have you got to do to make that happen? Because you've got to make that happen. You got to have a support system. Number 7, I don't know nearly as much as I thought I did. I don't know nearly as much as I thought I did. And along with that goes, sometimes the church gets it wrong. These days I think, sometimes the church gets it right, but it's rare. My life, my faith was based on certainty, on black and white answers to universal questions. And I thought I had to have it all figured out. I thought I had to have all the answers. I thought I had to be able to defend my faith and debate, fight, and argue and win it all and stand for Jesus and stand for the Bible and stand for America and have all of this certainty. And in the last 6 years, I've learned just how much I don't know. And I am so okay with that. In this new book, Catching Your Breath, there's a whole section where I talk about myself as a Christian agnostic. So a Christ-centered agnostic, being willing to say, I don't know. I don't have the answers. I don't have this thing figured out. Hey, Chris Stoker. Okay, number 6. No is not a 4-letter word. It's a 2-letter word. No is not a 4-letter word. Sometimes you have to say no. If things and people and projects don't value you, you got to say no. And that's okay. And you should do that. You should absolutely say no. Hey, Donna. Along with that, number 5, boundaries save lives. Boundaries. Oh my gosh, boundaries are so good. I think people think that boundaries are this scary thing and it destroys relationships and all that. You know, boundaries usually destroy codependent relationships. That's true. Boundaries usually destroy unhealthy relationships. Yeah, it's true. But my gosh, boundaries, what a gift. Being able to say no and being able to set boundaries, holy shit, that'll change your life right there. Number 4, I'm just in this holy shit zone right here in this list. Number 4, you don't owe anyone. You don't owe anyone. And as we talk about the people that you don't owe, let's talk about, hey, Jane, I hope you're doing well. Let's talk about inner circle and outer circle people. I write and blog and write books and podcasts and do all this. Hey, Michael, good to see you, friend. Hope you're doing well. I do a lot of public stuff, and I get some public response. I get emails. I get people needing stuff constantly, and when I can respond and it's healthy for me, I do. And there are plenty of times that I don't. Because again, you don't owe anybody anything. I write, I share. There's this idea that when you are someone who shows up with all this vulnerability and you share, you're so transparent that you are going to respond. You're always going to try to fix it and be there for people and be the answer and fix their life. And I tried to do that for a while, and I wore myself out. So I don't respond to every email. I don't respond to every Facebook message. I don't respond to every text message because, my goodness, in this line of work, it's all I would do all the time, and I would never take care of me. So here's the people that I owe. My wife and my kids. We live in the same house together. I gave those kids life. My wife and I have made a lifelong commitment to support one another forever. I owe those 3 people. And outside of that, I don't owe anybody anything. And so you need to remember that. You don't owe the whole world an explanation or an apology or reasons for this or that or the other. You don't owe anybody. Number 3, Jesus can save your soul and counseling can save your life. It's my new thing. It's my new thing that I'm talking about a lot. I think I've been talking about it, but this phrase, I just love it. Jesus can save your soul. Counseling can save your life. It's not either or. It's not you can be a Christian or you can walk with mental illness and need to go to a counselor. It's both. You can cling to your faith with one hand and cling to counseling and practical resources and take medicine and do meditation and go to the doctor. You can do both, and it will make you a better person. It will make you a stronger person. Those things work together. So cling to your faith, pray to God, love Jesus, read your Bible, worship, do whatever it is that you do to fulfill yourself spiritually, and go to the doctor. Hey, Amelia. Counseling has definitely saved my life. I love it. I love these comments. Number 2, love. Love is the only absolute truth. You know, one of my big struggles pre-suicide attempt, and one of the things I really deconstructed post-suicide attempt, was myself as a Christian and my feelings about the LGBTQ community, my gay, lesbian, trans brothers and sisters. It was a big struggle for me, and I disagreed with the church for a long time. And when I woke up in that ICU room and decided if God loved me, if God was giving me another chance, if God was not giving up on me at my lowest point, I had to rethink everything. And one of the biggest parts of that was coming out as fully affirming, being an ally, wanting to be a friend, believing that God loves everyone, you, exactly as you are. That there is room, that there is space at the table for you, exactly as you are, no matter who you are, no matter where you've been, what you've done, who you think you are, who you've been told that you are. That there is space at the table of grace and brotherhood and love and belonging for you, exactly as you are. Love is the only absolute truth. Love, just as I am. Yeah, you got it, Jane. Just as I am. Ooh, I got all tore up now. I can't see my notes. Oh, my goodness. If we don't have love, we're a resounding gong, a clanging cymbal. If I can preach it all, if I have all the answers, if I have everything figured out, and I don't love, I am nothing. I am worthless if I don't love. And the number one thing that I have learned in the last 6 years of recovery from a suicide attempt is tell the truth. Tell the truth all the time. Tell the truth. Tell your truth. Know your truth, own it, tell it. If you're having a great day, tell somebody. If you're having a terrible day, tell somebody. If someone hurt you, if someone offended you, if someone has wounded you, if you're struggling, you're having a really terrible day and you feel hopeless, whatever your truth is, tell it. Don't run from it. Don't hide it. Don't sweep it under the rug so that you don't offend somebody else. Tell the truth. Own your story. Tell the truth to yourself. Yeah, come on with that. I think it's Ed and I that talked about this, Ed Bacon, my buddy. I think it's the Episcopals that talk about remember your baptism, and maybe it's other denominations too. Remember your baptism. This is a bonus. I'm just going here. Remember your baptism. One of the lessons that I have learned in these last 6 years is to also remember baptism by suffering. So we're baptized in the water, we're sprinkled, we're dunked, whatever you do in your denomination, if you're a Christian. Remember your baptism. Remember the day that changed everything, and remember to tell people. Just as important for me is remembering when I was baptized in suffering. Remember when I was baptized by fire, right? Remember when it felt like the sky was falling and the whole world was coming apart at the seams. Remember that baptism too, and tell everybody. That's why I do this. That's why I blog about it every week. That's why I'm on here doing these videos all the time. It's why I do a coaching practice. It's why I speak in schools and churches and anywhere that'll open the door. To remember our suffering, remember God, our hope. Remember, don't forget. In 2016, there were 142,000 deaths by despair. So diseases of despair include suicide, drug abuse, and alcoholism, those three things. And in 2016, those three things killed 142,000 people. We have to talk. We have to keep talking. We have to talk more. We have to never stop talking. Tell our truth to ourselves, to other people. Ask for help. Help others. Show compassion. Show empathy. Show up. That's what we have to do. When you look at these stories, these suicide stories, and you see that recent stories include a megachurch pastor and a 9-year-old little boy. When you see that those are the types of people who are killing themselves, we got a problem. We got a real big problem. And so these things, loving, telling the truth, setting boundaries, asking for help, having a support system, going to the doctor, those are the things that will change the world, that will save our lives. And you say, well, how do I help my kids? That's usually a big question. How do I help my kids? You model it for them. Hey, Marcel, I hope you're doing well. So, a couple of minutes for questions. That's really it. I just wanted to share those 10 things, share my heart, I guess let my eyes leak a little bit. Anybody got questions? Self-care, suicide prevention, shame, life, anything. I'd love to talk, and I'd love to know what's on your heart, what you've been wondering about, wrestling with, anything at all that you're looking for a fresh perspective. I got just a couple of minutes, so share away. and I'll hang out right here and wait on you. Amelia says, thanks for being so transparent. Seriously, your story has ministered to me in a huge way. Thank you. That's what it's all about. It's all about owning your story, because it's Brene Brown. It's all of her stuff on shame and vulnerability. If you don't own your story will own you. So you got to own it. Own it, tell the truth, show up, be seen, find the courage to be vulnerable. That's all Brene Brown. That's not Steve Austin. Okay, I don't see any questions. If you have any, leave them in the comments, or feel free to email me anytime, steve@iamsteveaustin.com, and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. Y'all have a great night. See you soon. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye.